Hi, welcome back to DevOps video presentation series. This is Satyadev. In the last presentation, we have seen DevOps principles, practices, and tools. Now, in this presentation, I'm going to talk about DevOps in ITIL and DevOps in Agile. These are kind of bit of slightly seems like disconnected topics, but they are not. Now, we will see what they are in the next slide. Now, so as I told you briefly about IT department, IT department basically is one of the crucial departments in any company organization. Again, organization could be at three levels, right? Small, medium, or big organization. Now, when I say small organization, it could be a startup. That department may not have a separate IT department, so they might have outsourced or anything like that. So when I say IT department, what I mean is like a medium to big companies. Now, a fully established organization, has got several departments, and one of those departments, some of those departments are like engineering, where the software development activities happen, or the building activities, whatever it is, right? The actual core of that company, and the QA department. Sometimes QA department would be part of engineering, sometimes not. Depends upon the organization, thing. And product management, the management actually the leadership team that takes care of the actual products that they are going to sell and market. They are more towards the customers, clients of that company. And program management, so this is the team where team of people where they actually see how things are going when a particular product is being developed, or being overhauled or anything like that. So this is basically any program, whether it is any project, how it is going, what are the challenges, are there anything that they're falling short. These kind of things handled by the entire program management. So these are like facilitators kind of thing. A security team, so where they provide security to whatever the company sells. And customer support and technical support. Customer support basically solve customer problems which may not be technical, which may be related to the product related things and stuff like that. Whereas when it comes to technical support, they are purely on a particular product's technical capabilities. So technical support. Sales team, sales, marketing, normally they are combined together, but sometimes in very big organization there will be a sales team, marketing team, they made together, but they are kind of together. Talent acquisition team. So earlier there used to be one team called human resources, but the current trend is that there are going to be two teams which are under umbrella of the same people management, but it's like your talent acquisition, human resources. Talent acquisition team are the guys who actually acquire talent, recruiting, they do recruiting and all that stuff. Human resources are basically takes care of employees that are in the company. Finance, accounting, legal, so many teams are there. Now, one thing that stands out for IT department is that all the other teams, they have their own kind of work. They focus on their kind of, yes, they do interact with the other departments, but it's not like they interact with all the other departments. However, IT department is one department that cut across all these other departments, because everybody needs IT, right? Everybody needs computers, everybody needs lab monitors, keyboards, mouses, network, everything, of their applications to be installed. They need some application to be procured. All these things comes under the big umbrella of IT department. So IT department is a very crucial department in any organization, and they cater to all the other departments, unlike other departments. So in order for the IT department to do IT service management, which is abbreviated as ITSM, for consistent service delivery, optimized resource utilization, collaboration, IT department should have some framework of best practices and processes put in place. This is obvious, right? So when you are talking to multiple departments in a company, you can't just talk randomly and note down somewhere and forget about it, right? So they should have an established process of things. So let's say they are talking to product management. Their communication, IT departments talk about their communication, product management should be in a proper format, and and whatever the communication happens between them, it should be documented. because otherwise it's going to be a mess. Now the set of practices and processes that IT department uses um, are called ITL, Information Technology Infrastructure Library. So that's what ITL stands for. Now let's dig deep, little bit deep into what is IIL. ITIL, like I said, Information Technology Infrastructure Library, is a framework of best practices for delivering IT services. Like I said in my earlier presentations, a framework is something like provides, at a high level defines what needs to be done, but how to do it is something that everybody can, the team that uses the framework can decide. For example, version control system is a framework. Whether you use Git or TSS or something else, it's your choice, right? So in a company, version control system should be there. But do you want to use Git or do you want to use something else? It's your choice. So that's the difference between framework and actual implementation. So ITL has got several best practices for delivering IT services. It emphasizes those services actually are for stability. That means whatever they do it in a very stable manner, in a concise and stable manner. Control, so they know what they are doing. Governance, and they get the job done in a particular fashion, so they make sure that everything is done. And value cooperation through well-defined processes for managing IT operations and services. So I mean, basically interaction, value cooperation, basically interaction. So there are bunch of key ITL services, but the main important four are like these four services, like service desk management, technical management, application management, and IT operations management. Now, what is service desk management? It is nothing but the interface that IT department provides. Like I said, IT department cuts across all the other departments. They have a lot of work to do, but unfortunately, IT department is not a billable department. So what I mean by billable is that they don't have anything, any product or anything that gets money for them. That's what billable means. Billable means you create something, you do something that gets you money. But IT departments, whatever they do, they don't get money. They're not billable. So even though there is a lot of work, it's not a big, huge department. There, the fixed number of people who are also going to be there. It's not going to like hundreds or thousands of employees. No, it's not like that. So in that case, interacting with several departments is not easy. So what they do is they provide a web interface or one way of communicating with other departments. That means they don't talk to the other department directly, but they provide forms, applications, or some tools that so that all the other departments need interact with them. That's all the service desk management. For example, let's say I'm working in a company. I need a laptop. I need a mouse. Right now, what I would do is I go to the IT department, ask, okay, give me a mouse. No, I can't do that. What I need to do is there is a website. I go to that website, log in into that's right. It knows whoever is actually making the request. Go to the request, whatever. I mean, I'm just making this up, but it's something like all the companies will have similar to this. Go to the hardware, and then you say like peripherals. Then you say mouse. Then there is a request for mouse. There is click that. And when you click that and say send, something like that, a request goes to the IT department. Now, based on their priority of the things, they will cater to the once they are ready, they will say, come and get the mouse on Thursday, at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., something like that. They will say, they will put a message, and that will come back to me, and so that I will go and collect from them. So it's like a standardized way of communicating with the IT department. So service desk management acts as a single point of between IT service provider and its users for all operations issues, service requests, queries, and incidents. Next one is technical management. Provides technical expertise and resources needs to support the IT infrastructure and manage the technology used to deliver and support IT services. Well, any hardware or interfacing with the network or anything like that other departments use has to go through the IT department. So they should take care of all the hardware pieces of the things that they are handling, network pieces. For example, nowadays most of the companies are going to cloud, right? So they are going for AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, whatever it is. Right? So they should have proper documentation and maintenance, so that whenever somebody needs a machine, they say raise a request to service desk request, and IT department provides that machine to that person. That's so But again, there are two aspects. One is the service desk, another is the technical management. Actual creation of a machine is something done by comes under the technical management. So technical management basically means provide technical expertise and resource needs, right? That's pretty much what it is. And the third thing, functionality that IT department does is application management. Manage applications through their life cycles, ensure they are well designed, resilient, and cost effective, and aligned with the business needs. So again, most of the products nowadays, like I said, they are going to the cloud, right? So once they are cloud, they have to be managed. So let's say there is, for example, let's take Amazon, right? Amazon, it's on the web, right? Amazon.com, Amazon.in is on the web. So now, let's say they announced a sale, and normal traffic, for example, from Hyderabad is, let's say, 10,000 people per day. I'm just making this up. Now, because of the sale, there could be like 50,000 people, right? So they can't just use the same instances of the Amazon.in for all these shifts, because it's going to slow down. So what they do is they have to replicate that, behind the scene, the business logic and all that stuff. So that part is going to be taken by the application management. Basically manages applications through their life cycle, ensuring they are well designed, resilient, and cost effective. Now the last part, but not the least, is IT operation management. Perform day-to-day operational activities, requires manage and maintain the infrastructure and application, ensuring service and delivery as agreed. So again, DevOps actually comes under like application management and IT ops management. So IT ops management not just like deals with the IT part of it, the infrastructure part of it, but it also talks about communicating with the development teams. So basically, IT ops team is what actually interacts with the development team, where SREs, site reliability engineers. So I think we already discussed about SRE in previous presentations. So SREs are going to interact with the developers, because there the physical interaction is needed. I can't just set a request and think that they will do. Yes, they would do, but because software needs to be deployed into a production server, it definitely needs an interaction between dev and ops team, right? That's what DevOps is for. Improve the interaction between dev team ops. So the IT operation management team would actually talk to the dev team and make sure that things are being done properly. So that's pretty much about ITIL. Now, there are certain few important points that we can discuss about how ITIL and DevOps get together. Now, one thing I told you, as in the previous slide, is that IT department normally, except for developer team in DevOps, they don't normally talk to other departments in a face-to-face way, because they are limited set of people, so they interact with the interfaces. That's what the first point says. Normally, ITIL activities are seen as bureaucratic and slow, whereas DevOps is expected to work fast. So it's like a contradictory thing, right? In fact, not. Both ITIL and DevOps have common goals in terms of operation management, application management, technical management. So, what is the main purpose of DevOps? I think we have already defined DevOps is for having a great collaboration between dev team, the product development team or engineers, and the operation team. So they have to get collaborate in a nice manner, so that things get done more faster. That's where it is, right? But again, ops team is not a separate team. It's part of the IT department, right? IT ops department. But IT department don't talk to the people directly. So it's like kind of bit of oxymoronic, right? So it's not. To be honest with you, it's not. It's like IT department, even though it's like has got interfaces, but once the interaction start between dev and SREs, site reliability engineers, it will be like a one-to-one basis with various tools and stuff like that. So that's what second point is talking about. The ITL framework ensures structured change management, service reliability, and incident resolution, whereas the DevOps approaches enable rapid automation, faster deployment, and proactive monitoring. So basically, ITL framework handles one piece of the IT functionality. DevOps, the ops piece of the DevOps, ops here the IT department handles the another piece. So it's like they are not like, you know, even though they have common names like application management, operation management, they are catering to different areas. So they complement rather than they conflict. So they are not conflicting; they are complementing each other. So it's good, right? So DevOps piece of it is more agile towards the development team, where the IT department still follows the procedures, because this is very, very important. Like I told you in the previous slide, without following proper procedures and guidelines, it's very difficult. As IT department also takes care of incident management. So something like one product, one application gone down for maybe a day, something like that, which causes a lot of money lost to the company. Then they have to resolve the issue quickly, right? So where the problem is a software problem, in IT problem, or somebody develop database problem, somebody else's problem. All these things have to be resolved with the IT team. So they play a crucial role. Now, even though DevOps and IT are like together, have common, like I said, common goals. So they complement, they work on the two different aspects of those goals. So that's where they could go hand in hand. Now ITIL, when you talk about the pure ITIL, like not the ops part of it, right? So we talk about, when you talk about ITIL, they use tools like ServiceNow, Helix, Fresh Services from Freshwork, Jira management, like for all the create tickets and all that stuff, which is from Atlassian, from the company called Atlassian. Neurons for ITSM from Ivanti, company called Ivanti. Sysaid, Topdesk, Cheryl, service management, etc. So there are so many tools that are used by ITIL, which is the other piece of the IT department that's not conflicting with DevOps team. Now when it comes to DevOps, the ops team actually, which is also part of IT department, takes care of setting up Git. Even though developers do the in their Git, setting up Git locally, the central Git repository has to be done by the IT department only. So they use like Git, Jenkins, which is a build server, which we are going to talk about in the next presentation. In another presentation, detailed thing about Jenkins, I will talk in another presentation series. But we'll get in touch with Jenkins in some other presentations as well. Ansible, Chef, Puppet, Terraform. These are all the Docker, Kubernetes, Elk Stack, Prometheus, Grafana, Jira. So there are so many other tools used by ops department of IT department. So ITL and DevOps, they go together in a complementing fashion, not a conflicting fashion. That's what IT department and DevOps are for. Now let's talk about how DevOps, we talked about IT piece of DevOps, right? Let's talk about how Agile teams work. Now, Agile team, as I told you, Agile is not even a framework. It is actually a mindset. Even though I said framework, it's kind of a mindset. Now, there are frameworks like Scrum, Kanban, Lean. We talked about so many things, right? So, Kaizen. So, these are all the various frameworks that are available. Now, as I told you, these frameworks define the outliers and what exactly, how to represent, how to run them is something like every company decides, right? Actually, every team decides. Now, Scrum, Kanban, XP, there are so many things like that. Now, each team, when it comes to if a particular agile framework, like Scrum, Kanban, XP, and a particular team, they follow one particular way of delivering stuff. Now, for example, Scrum uses like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks for delivering something to the customer. Whereas Kanban, normally Kanban is implemented by ops team, because it's a day-to-day operations. That's what, these are the tasks we have for today. Have they been completed? That kind of stuff, right? So Kanban normally goes by day-to-day activities. So whereas Agile could go for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. Normally 2 weeks, sometimes 3 weeks, but 4 weeks is very rarely happens. But yeah, some people do that, but very rarely. So normally dev team follows like I said, ops team being part of IT organization should be able to support any framework that the Agile Dev team requests for continuous delivery. I'll talk about what is continuous delivery in the next presentation. But the job of IT department, the ops part of the IT department is to provide support for all these frameworks, because one team follows Scrum, another team follows XP, another development in Kanban. So when they follow Scrum, they may say, okay, we are going for 3 week sprint. Somebody says, no, we are Kanban. So basically Kanban, operation team that follows Kanban. Also some development teams where they maintain the code. Code maintenance normally will be happen through Kanban, because customers every day they raise the defects and stuff like that. Right? XP might have a different time frame. Now, how they cater, that's what important. So, basically the challenge for ops team is like several Agile frameworks having different time frames, but ops team has to cater to all of them. How do you do that? So that's what the last point talks about. Ops team uses processes, tools, technologies to meet the need for shortest delivery cycle time, and they cater to all the Agile team. So they plan such a way that things has to be done even within 1 day. They will do that. For example, some team takes like a half day. They have to plan accordingly. Is it difficult? Yes, it is. Is it impossible? No, it's not impossible. It is possible using several tools, technologies, processes, and practices. This might require dev team to use automated tools. Like I said, continuous integration. Also plan their software architecture accordingly. This is a very, very important point. Even though we use a lot of tools, sometimes the architecture of the software also matters to improve the productivity of the development. So again, I will talk about it in the later presentations, but just remember this point that based on the architecture also, things could go faster or go slower. That's what it is. So yeah, thank you very much. We'll meet you in the next presentation.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.